I'm working on something lately. I had a real problem my entire life, and up to recently I've had a real problem with my entire life about this idea of what it means to love yourself. I've never understood it for my whole life, and I gotta be honest that I've never understood what people meant by it. I never got it at all. When you say love yourself, I always thought of it as like, ooh, what do you mean? I gotta love myself. What does that mean? I gotta love what I think about. I gotta love my story. I gotta love my body. I don't love that. Recently too, I don't love that very much so because this guy keeps filming it every week. And he keeps filming it, put it on Facebook, and I swear to God, there's gotta be something to do about this chin. There's gotta be something we can do about making this chin only one chin. So I was really interested in this idea, but I wasn't. I would just hear people say, in order to love other people, you gotta love yourself first, and I didn't know what it means. Never know what it means. And then sometimes tonight before Solution Group, I kind of think about things. And last night, Amy came up to me and we were standing right by the chair, right by the fire, and we were getting ready to go to bed. And she came up and she started to hug me. And when Amy hugs me, sometimes I feel resistant. And I've really, really got interested in that. So I've really got interested to why when she comes up to hug me, I feel resistant. And I've looked into this now. So I want to get into this idea about what it means to be responsible for our energy and what it means to love ourselves. So I think what it means for me, it came clear to me that when I feel resistance inside, it's indicating an area of a place that I don't love. It's indicating inside me, something inside. See, it's not that I don't love Amy. It's that when she loves me, I'm almost shying away from it, and she's so good at it, and she loves me, and when she does, an area inside me shows up like resistance, and I can feel the energy resisting, and what I've come to the conclusion about being responsible for my energy in that case is there's something about me I don't like down there. See, to love myself does not mean to love what I think, and it doesn't mean to love my body, and for sure it doesn't mean to love my house, and for sure it doesn't mean to love my story. It doesn't mean none of that shit. To love myself means to love the energy inside me at all times. To love the energy that I'm experiencing at all times. To be responsible for that means when I'm experiencing energy inside me that I don't love, it's a me problem and it's something inside of me that I dislike. See, people don't understand what it means to be responsible. Are you responsible for the way your energy is right now? Or are you here thinking and feeling the way you feel inside your energy? Are you sitting here attributing it to something somebody did to you? See, I used to say when I felt resistance around human beings, I used to say there was something wrong with them. You see, there's such authenticity to a dog. And I think that dogs have been put on this planet for one reason. To teach us and have us compare about love. See, if we can love the people close to us, we don't feel any resistance around dogs. And what it ends up being is it shows up like love, like there's no resistance. Even when they're making a mistake, even when they're licking your face, even when they don't smell good, even when they're doing whatever they're doing, there's nothing inside of me that resists that. So for me, I have this goal to reach about loving myself so that I can love Amy. That's just true. It isn't anything she's doing. Nothing that she is doing. There's no Amy problem in this. There's a me and and see, as a human being that I've found and went down with this thing about life being about responsibility for my energy, I also now can really get clear on what it means to love myself. It means to love the way I feel all the time. And if I don't love the way I feel, there's no blame or complaint about that. It was so clear to me. No, it ain't about me not loving myself. Look at them. It's obviously them. I was so clear on that. And I really, if you're in this room, I will tell you 100%. If there is something about another human being that causes resistance inside of you, please, I implore you to not blame them. I implore you to look inside, because if you just take the responsibility on and look inside, what you will find is an area of your energy that you don't love, which then translates into the fact that you don't love yourself, which then translates to the fact that you have no capability of loving anybody else when you don't love yourself. You see, when the energy is resistant, you're scared. See, if you came here today and your energy is resistant, I would say that why it's resistant is you're thinking about what somebody else did to you, what they have done to you, what you wish they wouldn't have done to you, what they said to you. And you have this resistant energy and you don't love it. And because you have this resistant energy and you don't love it, you're not willing to love that energy. And because you're not willing to love that energy and just be with that energy, you're now blaming another human being, hoping that they will change so your energy changes. It ain't going to happen. This is self-care. Self-care is sitting with the energy that you used to not be willing to sit with. And the more you can sit with it, the more you love yourself. If there is no resistance inside you, the more you will love other human beings. I want you to get real suspicious on this. I want you to get real suspicious that your hatred shows up the same time that resistance in your inner body shows up. And I want you to get real suspicious about how irresponsible that is. That is so irresponsible. I also want you to see what is the way out of that. There is no way out of that. The only way out of improving and learning to love yourself is learning to sit with new energy that you weren't willing to sit with before. And the only way to do that is to actually put yourself in uncomfortable situations and be around people that you weren't willing to be around before. See, when me and Amy lived in my mother's in the basement, we didn't like anybody. So I got to come to one of two conclusions. Either everybody's changed, or I've learned to love myself. Take a look at the damage you do. Now take a look at when you act from a place of acceptance and accepting energy. And if we could chart that out for your entire life, you would see what the issue is. It ain't what people do. It ain't what they do. It's that action that we take when we don't like and love ourselves. The action, the things we say, the detriment we are to others, the past that we bring up, the protection that we do, protecting ourselves with our words, cutting with our words like a knife. All those damaging things. Quitting our jobs, getting high, yelling at our kids, spanking our kids, hitting our partner. All that detriment, all that damage done from this resistant energy. And if you took responsibility for it and you got really honest, you would acknowledge that you don't love yourself. And because you don't love yourself, you just don't feel good enough. And what we have inside manifests outside. It's undeniable. If you have love for yourself inside, you will manifest love. If you have hatred for yourself inside, you will manifest hate and resentment. It's that clear. And if you want to quit manifesting hate and resentment, you will learn to love yourself. There is nothing more clear, and the only way to learn to love yourself is to be responsible for your energy at all times. And I can learn to love Amy by learning to love myself more. And the more I love myself, the more I will have the capacity to love her. Or I can go about the other business of waiting for her to, and making it a her problem and saying, I'll love her more when she changes. I'll love her more when she fixes the thing that she just said to me. When she stops doing that and stops doing that. But it ain't a her issue. She's perfect in every way. And it's this. And she just shows it to me. She shows me how I shy away from her love. It's insane, really, the direction that this thing has taken us. This protection that this voice in our head does for us. And we have to re-engineer it. As soon as we don't love our energy, this thing in our head finds the problem out there. It lets us know the problem is out there. It's not you, it's them. And it takes real work to shut that thing up and rebel against it. It takes real work to go, wow, they just showed me an area of my energy that I don't love. And if I don't get it clear, I'm never going to love myself all the way. Our idea of support here is a little different than somebody else's, our idea of how to support an individual. You know, you don't go here and then get supported. You might get something, but you won't get that much. You might get good energy, you might get something, but the idea of support, we seem to really, traditionally, really ruined what we've called support in this way we do things. So support seems to be, if you kind of defined it, let me complain and then you acknowledge that I got it bad. And that's what we see, people supporting each other in that way. And I don't know, I don't know how we get out of that, but we do. We do know how to get out of that. It's called, I think there's three things here going on. There's transformation, and there's connection, and there's accountability. So one, are you transforming? Are you learning the areas of your life that you don't love, or the areas of your energy that you don't love, and the areas of your energy that you're not being responsible for? That's the transformation part. Each individual in the family learning about their energy and taking ownership and looking at it as a responsible way. I'm now looking at my energy as a me problem. I'm no longer blaming my resistant energy on you. That's the transformation. And this is a requirement of all. So transformation is this thing that says, hey, I don't love all my energy inside, but no longer am I going to say that's a you problem and blame you. Thus, if two people are working this, or even one person working it, one person's responsible, there could be a possibility for connection. See, without transformation, there's no possibility for connection. And here's why. Because it's a stalemate. You're the problem, you need to change. Followed by the other person saying, you're the problem, you need to change. That is a stalemate. There's no way out of it. It's only when one of the parties in the relationship begins to take ownership and responsibility for their energy that there's a possibility for connection. Other than that, there's just will. There's my will and your will. And we're going to pound each other down until one of us wins. And we go about this business of pounding each other down until the other one wins and dominating each other and trying to avoid domination. And we do it very cleverly. We do it real tricky. We sneak it in. But basically the gist of our words to each other is you need to change always. And that is what we're doing to each other. You're the problem. With no ownership. So without transformation, no connection. So now we begin the process of transformation, which leads to a connection. But see, there's still some improvement in each other that we got to support each other with. A requirement of accountability that each one of us is doing it. But I can't hold you accountable for your energy and your insecurities and what you do about that if I'm not getting accountable for mine.